Hello, everyone, and welcome to the National Inventor Club. My name is Brian Freed. I'm the founder of National Inventor Club and the Inventor Smart Community app. And we are in, what is this, September? We just made a September National Inventor Club meeting. So welcome October coming up. But until then, we have September. Let's finish strong. We have representatives from Amazon. So you want to hear directly about Amazon, when the right time is to set up your store. What is Amazon? What is it about? How can you make money? What are the tools and resources available? Well, we have Ali Aldridge and Max Chacon from the Amazon team. And thank you, and a big shout out to their marketing team, Philip Atlas and Tamara Grubb. We appreciate you and your support. Thank you. And we're going to be excited to hear from them very soon. Until then, just want to let you know that there is a lot of fun and exciting things that are happening in the Inventor Smart Community app. If you haven't already joined, it's free. Go right in, set up a profile for yourself. You can download it on Google Play or Apple App Store, Inventor Smart Community app, and be part of the action. We have networking going on. We have book club meetings. We have Q&A sessions. We have meet and greets. It's a lot of fun. Come join if you haven't already done that. We usually pick a night and around this time, and we have all kinds of events. So, but if you're not into the events, then you can go on and ask questions, help other inventors out, and network and find what you need in the Inventor Smart Community app. So National Inventor Club is going strong. We have quite a bit of members that continue to grow our community, and we are all here to help each other. That's what it's all about. So tonight, I always like to have some great intro guests. They provide tips and tricks and advice for the inventors and the startups and the entrepreneurs that are out there, no matter what stage you're at. So let's start off with one of our sponsors. He is from PickFu. His name is John Lee. And John, if you can just tell us a little bit about PickFu, and I know that you have some advice to help the inventors out there and the entrepreneurs and startups.
Sure. Thanks for having me here, Brian. So I'm John. I'm one of the co-founders of PickFu. PickFu is like a digital focus group. We have a panel of over 15 million global consumers where you can self-serve and run quick polls and surveys to test your product ideas, packaging concepts, your main Amazon listing images, and so on. We work with a lot of actually the largest Amazon sellers to optimize their main images. So this month, I wanted to talk about something that can dramatically improve your product's success, uncovering which audience segments actually respond best to your invention. As inventors, we often create products with a broad audience, but certain demographics might connect with your product much more strongly. Or there might be segments that you don't think of, like you think you might have a target audience, but in fact, this other segment might actually respond better. So my tip is that you can go on PickFu and run a very large, like a large poll to maybe 100 or 200 consumers in the general population. And we allow you to dive into the results and see how different demographics and different demographic segments responded to either your idea or your packaging or sort of the things that you're putting up in front of the audience. And the beauty of this approach is that you get immediate access to that segmentation data so you can understand exactly what your target audience could be and what they really think about what you're presenting.
That's great. So John, we're coming up with an idea. Maybe we have several design iterations. Maybe we have a logo that we're trying to figure out what is the best one that we should use. Maybe we're trying to figure out what the best price point is for our invention, our product, our launch. That's what PickFu is about, to be able to have an audience of people that are giving you straight up feedback, not your friends and family that they just can't say no to you, but to be able to give not just a yes or no, but to position yourself in a way to get great feedback, and you can narrow it down to who your audience is that you'd like to participate in these. And I know that you have, for the Inventor Smart Community app subscribers, you have a coupon code.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you remember what it is.
Yes, I do actually. So PickFu, the cost starts at $1 per person. So you can get feedback for as little as $15 with a 15-person poll. But for the Inventor Smart community, you can use the coupon code Inventor just Inventor in all caps for 50% off your first poll. So that's
Thank you, John.
$7.50 for really quick feedback.
That's just, think about how much somebody would pay for a focus group.
Right.
And to be able to set it up the way that you want, ask the questions. It even helps you to figure out what questions to ask. And I just took a design thinking class for my master's, and I had a chance to really drill into the questions and ask good questions for the feedback from your audience. And it was fantastic. It helped me out a lot. So thank you, John, for doing what you do. Say hi to Justin for us, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. All right, let's have James White. He's from Freaking Reviews. I don't know if you follow him yet, but if you don't, you have to. He's got 1.5 million followers and growing every single day. He's reviewed over 2,000 products, and some good and some not so good. He tells it like it is, and we appreciate that. So I've had a chance to get to know James for quite some time now, and we're working on several projects together, but I find it intriguing. And I know that inventors and the community find, James, they find you very interesting, because what makes a great product a great product? I know you've answered this a couple times when I've had a chance to meet you, but if you can share some advice and feedback and some tips and tricks for the inventors, entrepreneurs, startups, maybe they're going to launch their product. Maybe they're already launching their product and they're trying to figure things out, but give us some brutally honest feedback like you're great at, James.
Well, I mean, obviously what makes a great product doesn't always make a successful product. Successful products aren't always the best products. Remember VHS versus Betamax? The better product did not win that one because it wasn't marketed properly. And there was one key feature that it was missing. It only had 1 hour record time. You can't put a movie on a 1 hour tape. So, they didn't listen to the consumer feedback early enough. By the time they made the switch, it was already over. But, what makes a great product is something that solves a problem, that lives up to the marketing hype, and, I think that holds up over time. I think that beyond that, it's kind of gravy, but I think that's the kind of the key right there.
You know what, James? We have representatives from Amazon coming on, and I know the products that you review, you don't get them, and nobody pays you for your reviews. You're getting these, you're buying these products, and you're buying them from Amazon. So when you're buying a product and you're deciding on what you're going to buy, and you're looking at the description and the images and the videos that are on there, how are you making the decision of what you're going to actually buy?
I was prepared for a question like that. So I actually have a few props here. So I got a few examples. So here's something that I just reviewed in today's video. And you see that, you go, what in the world is that? This is actually a balloon tire. So to me, I'd never had used a balloon tire. So it solves kind of a problem that I never really had solved before. So to me, that was a no-brainer. Can this actually tie balloons? I had to find out. This one right here is a nut chopper. I've reviewed a bunch of choppers over the years, but this one just looked different to me. So I thought, does this, if I don't drop it, if I don't break it. So I thought to myself, does this actually chop nuts as good as some of the other ones do? I had to find out because of the design. How about this right here? What do you think that is? Do you have any idea what that is?
Uh-oh. I think I do, because I watch your channel.
It's a squirt gun. That's all it is. It's a squirt gun. But I thought, what? How is that? And actually, the pictures are probably a bit exaggerated because it showed this beautiful like fireworks effect, but it does that for approximately 1 second. But
you know what? I thought that was the banana. I thought that was the banana that makes the hole inside the
banana loco. Yeah, that's another one. And so one more example. This right here. See, you think to yourself, what is that? Now, in this case, this is nothing unusual. It's just presented in an unusual way. I took what's a pretty standard product, which is a drink carrier, and I just made it look different by having it all condensed down like that. That's how I did for my thumbnail. My thumbnail did really well because I actually presented it in a way that's not how it's used, but made people curious enough to click on it. So curiosity really has a lot to do with a successful product on the online marketplaces, because you have to stand out. If you have a standard picture of a standard product, good luck. But if you can do something to make your product look a little bit different, even if it's kind of a common product, you're ahead of the game.
Awesome. I have one more question for you, James, because a lot of us are working on packaging, or we will at some point. How important is packaging to the product?
You know, I'm often impressed by nice packaging. Here's something right here. Check this out. I wasn't going to show you this one. Look at this. What is this, right? It looks like a pizza box. Beautiful packaging. It's actually pizza flavored soda. But beautiful packaging. I'm always impressed by nice packaging, but if the product doesn't match up to it, you know, I've gotten products in a bag before that work better than products in a beautiful packaging like that. So I think it's nice. It gives a good first impression, but if the product doesn't live up to the packaging, it doesn't really matter.
James, thank you as always. It's great getting to watch you in action and then seeing you here with us. Thank you. If you are not a subscriber, check out Freaking Reviews. James White. James, what are some of the channels that you're on?
I'm pretty much everywhere. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I'm on all of them. So, Snapchat. Awesome. Pretty much find me anywhere.
Great. We will see you on your next review. Thank you so much, James.
Take care. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's have Elizabeth Doherty. She is from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Northeast Regional Outreach Director. Did I say that right? I know you have layers of titles.
You did, Brian. But I actually have the pleasure for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office of also serving as the interim director for the Southeast Regional Outreach Office and for the Midwest Regional Outreach Office. So I have the pleasure of engaging with stakeholders from 27 states, plus the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
You're a busy lady.
But it's so much fun, Brian. I get to interact with inventors like yourselves and the community that's on with you this evening. People that are creative, people that are producing things that we need, that we want, maybe even before we know that we need or want them.
Well, we are excited as always to have you as part of our intros. You give great tips and advice for us. You give us some information of events that are happening. And I know that National Inventor Club, we are going to be scheduling something early 2026. Believe it or not, it's not that far away. And we are going to start planning that. So as soon as we have a date, we're going to let the community know. And hopefully we'll have a great turnout this year, 2026.
Well, Brian, we certainly look forward to having you back at the USPTO headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia. Anytime the National Inventors Club is interested in engaging with the USPTO, we're happy to be right there side by side, providing education and information to help empower more inventors to be successful.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Can you give us some inspiring information for us so we can keep moving forward with our big ideas?
Well, I certainly hope so. I guess my biggest piece of information tonight is that we have a new director. Just this last week, we swore in the next and newest director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, who serves as the Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property and Director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, a gentleman by the name of John Squires. John started with us last week. He signed his first patents last week. He comes to us from the IP community, so he is well versed in the world of inventors, innovators, and entrepreneurs. I think he brings some real excitement and expertise to the agency. So we're excited to see what he does now in the second week of his career with us and on throughout the entirety of his tenure. So we're super excited to have him on board and to have him engage with not only our stakeholders, but our USPTO employee base.
Fantastic. Elizabeth, many of us talk about patents and trademarks, and we might not have necessarily visited your website. Can you share the uspto.gov website and what we can find available for the inventors to get them going or somewhere along their journey?
For sure, Brian. And I think it's a great place, particularly for those who are just getting started, just tipping their toe in the water of intellectual property protection, when one visits our website, which as you shared is www.uspto.gov, the place I always encourage people to start is, if they look across the top toolbar, is to look at that Learning and Resources pull-down tab. There you can find information directed to inventors and entrepreneurs, to startups, to teachers and educators, to parents, and even our media. So we have it broken down in a very friendly, understandable fashion. We also have top headlines for patents and trademarks. But again, for those people who maybe aren't sure where to start, I always encourage them to start with the Learning and Resources pull-down tab. Now, there is also some quick hits that you can find on the right-hand column of our webpage, and that's a good place to start too, because you'll find, in particular, our USPTO events. And just as you do teaching and training and education, Brian, we offer classes all of the time, Monday through Friday of every week, and we are just getting started here in early October with kicking up our Trademark Bootcamp series starting on October 7th. It's an 8-part series. And for those who need to know more about trademarks, and I'd say that's just about anyone starting in business, it's a great place to really understand trademarks from soup to nuts.
That's great. I took that boot camp. It's very good and very well taught. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Elizabeth,
Thank you
when we introduced you, we mentioned the innovation outreach, and you're carrying many of those offices at this point. What is that? What is that for inventors? What can we do there? What is it about? How can it help us?
Brian, I appreciate the question. So, as a result of the 2011 America Invents Act, the USPTO was encouraged and empowered to stand up regional outreach offices. And we did just that. We stood up offices in Detroit, Denver, Dallas, and San Jose. We have now subsequently opened a community outreach office in New Hampshire. And we are also serving the Southeast region through a Southeast Regional Outreach Office, which is currently positioned at our headquarters location in Alexandria, Virginia. These offices provide in-person services as well as virtual educational opportunities within the regions that they support. So it's a place for education, information, engaging with USPTO stakeholders, as well as it's also a place for our employees to work and gather if they live close to that regional office. They offer a wide array of services and work with stakeholders from all walks of life.
That's great. And we can find out more information on the website also. There's all the regional office contact information.
For
we
sure.
can come visit to the offices in person, virtually, to be able to have almost the satellite office of the Alexandria, Virginia headquarters.
For sure.
And one final point is the PTRC, the Patent and Trademark Resource Centers. I know we can go on and on.
Near and dear to my heart, Brian.
Yes. So if you can explain what's available for the inventors with those resources.
Happy to do so. So the Patent and Trademark Resource Centers, or PTRCs, as Brian calls them out, is a network of free libraries, over 100 libraries located across the globe, or really across the nation, I should say, located primarily in colleges and universities, but some in public libraries themselves, where there is at least one, if not more than one, trained librarian trained in patent and trademark searching. They are there to assist you in conducting a high-quality patent or trademark search. And while you're not required to conduct a search before filing or even after filing, we strongly encourage you to do so, because your idea may be just so good, somebody else has already thought of it. So work with a PTRC to find out and to help shape and scope your invention.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Always a pleasure to have you on. We can keep going. There's so many resources for the inventors out there. Make sure that you visit uspto.gov. There's plenty of support and Inventor Assistance Center that's available. And Elizabeth is accessible, her and her team. Thank you so much. We'll see you again very soon.
Brian, always great to be with you and your audience.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. All right. I'd like to just pull Andy up here for a moment. For those of you who receive the Inventor Smart Community newsletter, many of the in-betweens of the updates and highlights and the innovation. What else? We have so many things that are going on behind the scenes. Andy, you are instrumental in making that happening for us. We appreciate you. Great content, pulling all information out there, and in my brain constantly making sure that we have all the information and it's accurate. Thank you to you, to Samantha St. Raymond, to Sean Taylor, for everybody supporting the Inventor Smart Community app. Any
And thanks to you, Brian.
Thanks, Andy. Well, we just gave you an award. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you. Congratulations to me. No. It's good to be here. And yeah, no, seriously, thanks to you for providing a platform for all this great content to come through and to connect all these great people. And yeah, and we have an after meeting networking event. So if you're here, check out the chat, the Zoom link's there, or maybe you got it via email, but you're invited. So hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. And Andy, we have the inventorchat.com. So when people go into the Inventor Smart Community app, they actually have a way to be part of a forum, which is Inventor Chat also. We have a chat in the app, but now we have one that's also open to the public, which is inventorchat.com. We are slowly making our official launch, but it is open and available for business. And there are people in there and talking and helping each other out. So, right, inventorchat.com is a good one.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat too. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice platform for communicating, and yeah, the interface is really nice, and it's a good platform for facilitating conversations. So definitely check it out, post your questions, and yeah, join us.
Awesome. All right, Andy. So we have Ali Aldridge and Max Chacon from the Amazon store, from headquarters, being able to talk to us about what it takes to get our product on the platform, when you should, a little history about Amazon, and we are going to get rolling. So we will see you in a little while, and you can join us in the after meeting networking, which we will put in the chat, and we also sent it out to you, and also in the Inventor Smart Community app, we'll have access in there. So we'll see you in a little while. Let's roll the Amazon interview that we did. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Fried, and we are part of the National Inventor Club and the Inventor Smart Community. I know that a lot of us dream about being in a retail big box store, but we don't have to do that anymore. We have an easy way to put our product, our brand, our invention on the Amazon store. And today I have Ali Aldridge and Max Chacon from Amazon joining us to talk about what it takes and the opportunity available for us to be able to sell our product on the Amazon store. Max and Ali, thank you for joining me. If you could just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And thank you so much for having us today. I'm really excited to just have a conversation with you, and for everyone listening, just to learn. Hopefully we can provide some type of valuable insight and information about starting selling on the Amazon store. So, but before we dive into that, just want to provide a little bit of background of who's here, who's talking to you today. But so like Brian mentioned, my name is Max, and I've been at Amazon for close to 4 years now. And the better first half of it, I spent working on an account management team. So what that means is I worked with small businesses, entrepreneurs, inventors, as they initially started on Amazon. And I'd work with them for about a year or so and then send them on their way. So the goal was really to teach them how to fish, and then hopefully they could fish on their own. But, we would cover different aspects of just getting started, right? Listing products, shipping products, advertising, those buzzwords, and help them build something on the Amazon store, right? And then now on this new team, and super happy to be here, we focused on the education for prospective sellers externally and helping new sellers with just that, helping them with the education on how to get started. So really happy to be here and to really dive into some valuable insight.
Great. And Allie?
Yeah, me as well. I am so excited to be here. Brian, thank you for inviting us. I've been at Amazon for 2 years, and my role really focuses on developing educational programming for small businesses that are part of trade associations or chambers of commerce. And that programming focuses in on topics that they care about. So that is stuff like AI tools, brand protection, marketing, growing your brand. I'm sure all of these are issues that are really relevant for your audience as well. And so I get the opportunity to work with Amazonians and help develop educational content, sort of like what we're doing here today, that's really specialized and help people succeed in the e-commerce space. But before coming to Amazon, I spent more than 15 years in the public sector leading business development teams for social impact organizations.
Amazing. Well, thank you both again for joining. Just thinking back and reflecting, I mean, I don't want to share my age at this point, but when Amazon first started, I believe that they were just a bookstore. And look at where it is today, selling pretty much everything and having a place where independent sellers can now sell their products and be able to build brands, whether it's one product or multiple products to build this brand. If you can share kind of the evolution of where Amazon started and where it is today, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, as you and many people in your audience probably know, Amazon launched as a bookstore in 1995. It was an online bookstore. And 25 years ago, actually this year, independent sellers first began selling in the Amazon store. So today, now, of course, it's a global store, and over 60% of sales in the Amazon store come from independent sellers. Most of those are small and medium-sized businesses. And that shift to independent sellers tells an important story. Independent sellers really are driving Amazon's growth. They're not just participating in it. And independent sellers have generated about $2.5 trillion in sales in Amazon's store. So last year, 2024 alone, US-based independent sellers averaged more than $290,000 in annual sales, with more than 55,000 of those sellers generating more than $1 million in sales from the Amazon store. So our team has the privilege of working primarily with small business sellers in the store. And we really seen these sellers go from, starting a side hustle to full-time businesses to national brands. And the way that they do that is really because Amazon store is set up to empower sellers to grow in these ways. We provide access to logistics and fulfillment tools, to customer insights. And of course, we're a trusted storefront where millions of customers already are and are shopping every day. One example of this that I love to share is the story of a mom who created a portable baby bottle warmer. All right, so that was a problem that she had, a challenge that she was looking to help solve. It was a personal need. She launched it on Amazon, and within 2 years, she was selling globally. And she did not have retail experience, but what she had was a solution. And Amazon helped her grow and scale. And honestly, that's the kind of story that we hear a lot working with small businesses. It's inventors, it's founders with maybe a niche idea that isn't so niche because other people experience those same challenges, who grow on Amazon because the store is designed to really help sellers reach customers that they probably wouldn't have been able to reach on their own. And we have tons of innovative tools to help sellers achieve their goals. It's really exciting.
Okay. The ideal candidate then, as long as we have a product, we don't want an inventor, let's say, putting their prototype on the Amazon store, but we're talking about having product that's available for sale. And I guess when you're starting to sell, you have inventory, and the inventory is managed on the Amazon store to be able to let your sellers know what they have in stock, but also what the buyers also have available to buy. So who is the ideal candidate? When is the right time for somebody to start selling on Amazon store?
Yeah. So I think you pretty much said it, Brian. The short answer is anyone, but honestly, if you have a product that solves a problem or serves a need, Amazon's probably a good place for you to start, right? To on the Amazon store. And that includes a wide range of people, right? If we're talking about the ideal candidate, we're talking about traditional inventors, creators, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and even some that start with handmade products, right? So, but what they share in common, right? One common denominator between every single one of them is the desire to reach a larger customer base, right? And grow their business more efficiently. Okay. And so for those that are listening and wondering, is my product or invention a good fit for Amazon? A couple things to consider to help you come to that conclusion would be, like I said, does it serve a clear purpose or does it solve a real problem? Can it demonstrate its value with images and video? Is it something that people want to search for online? And lastly, it could even be a passion project, right? It's something that you're passionate about and that you built, that you either built out of desire or utility, that product would make sense, right? So if any of these are a yes, Amazon is likely a strong fit. And for those who are already holding a US patent, Amazon offers tools like Amazon Patent Evaluation Express Program, which is also known as the Apex. It helps owners of patents address suspected infringements on Amazon quickly and cost effectively, right? So there is protection for people who bring their invention to Amazon, right? So some of our most successful sellers started small, right? There are thousands of examples, but one could be the seller that created a new kind of cutting board, right? With built-in storage containers, right? They built it out of functionality, utility, something that they probably wanted to see, right? Another example could be a seller who creates a unique supplement for pets, right? The example that I'm thinking of is a seller who created a supplement for their dog that was just sick and they couldn't find a solution, right? And what they did was they wanted to share it with dog lovers around the world. And that's what they did. So neither of them had a big team, but they had a good idea, right? And the willingness to learn how to sell it on the Amazon store and share it with people around the world.
Very interesting. Me personally, I'm an Amazon seller, and I've had the experience of going through the Apex program with my intellectual property. I've used pretty much every tool that you have, the brand registry, which we'll talk about, just overall, just a good experience to be able to know that I can sell and the support and tools and resources are available for me as an independent seller, as an inventor, entrepreneur, startup, building my brand. Now, I know it could be overwhelming for some people to kind of say, oh my goodness, like I'm going to be selling on Amazon. What does all that mean? Well, I could tell you from my experience of going through vendor applications with big box retailers and other independent stores versus the experience of signing up and going through and getting my seller account on the Amazon store and just kind of going through that. Maybe you can share with us how we would set up an account because I felt like it was pretty easy, but I guess I'm doing it over and over again and working with other independent sellers. Uh, it seems like it's really nicely laid out, and obviously we need to verify information. Maybe you could share a little bit more details with us to be an independent seller.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. The feedback that I've gotten, right, is that setting up a seller account is fairly easy. So I'll talk you through like kind of those initial steps of setting up your seller account. So, right, you've decided you want to sell. The first step is setting up your seller account. It's a simple process, but there's a few kind of important decisions you need to make up front. So first, you're going to choose between two account types, individual and professional. If you're planning to sell 40 items a month or less, probably the individual account is going to be right for you. And there's no monthly fee on that account, just a per item charge. But if you're expecting more volume than that, you probably want to go with the professional account. Or if you want access to advertising or other tools, the professional account is probably the better fit. And that's $39.99 a month. And then to register, you need a few basic documents, your government issued ID, a credit card, a business tax number, your EIN, or your social security if you're setting up an individual account, your phone number, and a bank account. So once you start making sales, we can make deposits in your account. Most accounts are verified pretty quickly and active within a few days. And then you mentioned this, Brian. The other piece I would like to bring to your audience's attention in this process is the brand registry program, because that also plays a really important role. It provides brand owners enhanced control and protection over their IP, which I imagine is very important to your audience. It's a free program designed to help you protect your brand, whether you sell in the Amazon store or not. And so when a brand is registered, sellers in the program get access to a suite of tools and features that help them safeguard their brand's identity. This includes the ability to report infringements more effectively. You can utilize our brand analytics tool for deeper insights into customer behavior or into sales performance. You can also leverage the brand dashboard for a comprehensive overview of brand health metrics. It really helps build trust with customers by allowing sellers to display the brand registry verified badge on their product listing. And that signals to customers this is authentic, this is a quality product, and overall really streamlines the process of establishing your business as being credible and secure on the Amazon store.
Many inventors that are just starting off, we want to have some sort of intellectual property, especially when we're selling on the Amazon store, because there are sellers all over the world. And one thing that's really important is your intellectual property. So I know just from my experience, having a patent definitely gives you leverage. Having a utility patent gives you leverage. Having a trademark gives you leverage, and a registered trademark, and also even a copyright can be very helpful to secure your intellectual property and be able to let people know and put them on notice that, hey, this is a patented product. If you infringe, Amazon has the way to be able to put us through and protect ourselves from copycats and so forth. And it's worked. I mean, once you kind of show your Apex program that there is something that's similar, they'll help you to take them down, and it works well. So I know that was a work in progress back then, but it seems like it's working very well now. And I know as an independent seller that I am protected with my intellectual property, with my patents. And when I am selling on there, that if somebody is copying me, I know that you have the tools and resources to do that. So that's great. I know that's a big question that many inventors are concerned about. But look, we need to be able to sell our inventions, our products, right? Our inventions that turned into products, and Amazon is definitely the place to get that notice and the recognition. I know that there's a lot of other tools that are available for the inventors. I know for the brands, they kind of, a lot of people looking up, but for us, we want to be able to get our unique invention, something that's just kind of coming to the market out there. What tools do you have? I know the advertising is important, but maybe you can share some of those tools and resources available for us to kind of let people know that we exist on the Amazon store.
Yeah, no, I think you covered a couple different tools that are super effective when it comes to just protecting your IP, your trademark, your patent. But one of the things that is super important is, again, you are coming to the Amazon store to sell your product, right? So it's important to create that effective product listing, really to take that next step, right? To start that journey. So once your account is set up, the next step would be creating that product listing, right? So this would be your product detail page. And it's essentially going to be that first impression that you give to your customer, right? And a strong listing can include different types of things, right? It can be a clear, high resolution image that shows your product, right? And Brian, you're probably familiar with this, but the first image has to be with a white background, right? The customer's got to know what it is that they're buying, and it has to be clear, right? And secondly, you want to make sure that you're providing and you're creating a detail that's concise and descriptive, right? Because a lot of times with these inventions and these different types of products that these inventors create, they don't even have the name yet, right? They have the product, but they don't know what they're going to call it. They don't know what the title is going to be. So that's another thing that you have to consider, right? Because that's one of the primary reasons you're coming to the Amazon store. And then again, with that in mind, you don't want to go too deep into the title, because at the end of the day, that's where you have to put the information in the bullet points, the description, right? What is your product? What problem does it solve? Just going back to what we talked about in the beginning, right? What service does it provide? Right? And the different types of key features that your product is, what utility and function it has, right? And so you want to provide more than enough information so the customer is clear as to what they're buying. And you mentioned, different types of tools and advertising to really, get that exposure and for people to find your product. Because what if it's completely new to the Amazon store and it's not been sold before, right? So one of the tools and one of the ways to do that is to leverage keywords, right? So keywords are, it may seem a little simple, but the keyword that you put in your title or your description or your bullet points, but you can also do embedded keywords, right? If you don't want to add too much fluff and wordage and verbiage on your actual product listing page, you can embed them on the back end so that when people are typing in, let's say if they're looking for the cutting board with the storage containers, right? I can put in kitchen appliances, a cutting board utility, or wooden cutting board, whatever the case may be. You can add that into the backend for people to find your product, right? And so going back, for inventors especially, showing how your product works is key. Right? They got to know exactly what the function is, how they do it. And if that involves an explainer video or multi-images of the product itself, that's super helpful. But for the tool that kind of encapsulates everything that I just mentioned, Amazon recently launched and has made the process even easier for inventors and entrepreneurs through generative AI. Right? Now sellers can create listings simply by uploading a product image or even a couple words describing what the product is. Just with that information, Amazon can now generate product titles, different types of description bullets, and even create images, right? So if I put in a mouse pad with gel pad, it will generate an image for me to give an example of what it is that I'm trying to create. And again, that's for people who maybe aren't the creative type. For instance, myself, I can't come up with catchy titles, bullet points, or even just describers of what my product is. So this type of generative AI tool is there to help you with that. And again, you stay in complete control of your product, right? You're able to edit, delete, start over, but the system gets smarter the more you use it and the more sellers use it. So, and again, we've seen many inventors improve their sales simply by updating their images, right? Or tightening up their bullet points. But it's not about having the perfect listing right away. It's really about refining as you grow and making that product detail page the best it can be.
Yeah, and I'll just jump in to say that on the topic of AI, obviously at Amazon, we're always trying to innovate to ensure that the sellers in our store are able to focus on the business aspects that are important to them, the creativity, the innovation of designing new products, of growing their brand. So we continue to utilize AI in ways that benefit sellers. So one way we've done that for brand owners is incorporating it into A+ content for brand owners. So A+ content is really the listing that you can brand, really tying it back to your D2C site. If you want, A+ content helps sellers essentially create beautiful product detail pages with images and rich text and video. And even in basic A+ content, we've seen that increase sales up to 8%, right? So now sellers can generate that A+ content with AI just by uploading an image or a few descriptive phrases. And then Amazon system does the rest by creating compelling product imagery and content, if you choose. And it'll save sellers time, it'll reduce costs, and help sellers build storefronts with much less effort than it took previously.
It's interesting because inventors, when we're coming up with our idea and we're putting it out in the market, we know it inside and out. And we might expect everybody else to know it inside and out. And that's the hard part. And what all these different tools that you have allows us and gives us the help to do that. But we have to look at it from the customer perspective. Think about when you're buying products on the Amazon store and figuring out what caught your attention. What were the keywords that you put in to find that product? And that's what you have to do with yours. You have to be the consumer. And the keywords and what's in the description, being able to make it easy for the consumer to know what it is that you're selling. So those tools are really important, and you just got to keep tweaking. And when you're working on keywords and advertising and just building up, you see what's working and what's not working, and you get feedback, and that's how you just keep building to make your brand grow. Now we're up to the point where we want to kind of find our audience. How do we do that? Maybe you can help us to kind of hone in on who our target market is, who our audience is. How can we do that market research to help us get better sales?
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, you are a seller in the Amazon store and you're looking, okay, what is the next product I want to launch? So I can give you some like 30,000 foot perspective. Last year, 2024, the top categories, those were electronics, health and household, beauty and personal care, home and kitchen, apparel. But those are huge categories with a lot of products. So to know where to really dig in, you want to look at the data. So that's where this tool, the Product Opportunity Explorer, comes in, and that can be a game changer for sellers looking to launch new products on Amazon. Essentially, it's a tool that gives you kind of a peek into the mind of Amazon shoppers so you can see what they're searching for, you can see what they're clicking on, and ultimately buying. It's like having a crystal ball that shows you where the unmet demand is and helping you spot opportunities for new products that can really take off. So you'll see all of that data in a dashboard. For sellers, especially those with professional accounts in the US or Germany or Japan, this tool is really helpful. It helps sellers make smarter, more data-driven decisions. And there's a ton of filters that you can use. You can look at price ranges, sales volume, to align with your business goals. And you can hunt for niches where prime products may be scarce if you're in FBA. And you can even dive into customer reviews to hear from customers and see the themes about what they really want. And you don't have to do it alone. There's educational videos to kind of guide you through using the Product Opportunity Explorer. And you can either jump into those example niches or explore categories that interest you. I would say don't rush into like looking at the data, all of that's aggregated, right? Take the time with it and find the opportunities that really excite you. Analyze those details of the niche before you make your move and launch your next product. But Product Opportunity Explorer, it's amazing. It's really a game-changing tool.
And it's like we were talking about earlier, is just really looking at it from a consumer perspective. We almost have to step back away from our product and think about how it is that others are going to perceive it, catch their attention, and again, the tools and resources that you have help you to make those type of decisions so everybody wins. Because when we sell, you win, we win, and it turns into a successful seller, that's for sure. Well, there are inventors, entrepreneurs, startups at all stages of their inventions. Some are thinking about their idea, it might still be in their head, and others, they might have a prototype and just, I'm on one of my inventions, I'm on 7 iterations at this point. I'll get it right and then I'll be on. But, or we might be, we have a product that's available for sale and we have yet to really get involved with an Amazon opportunity to be on the Amazon store? I know that you're active working with these type of sellers. What are some words of wisdom that you can give to us to keep us moving forward and to be an independent seller on the Amazon store?
You kind of mentioned it, Brian. There's the amount of resource and information that is provided in the Amazon store for independent sellers, creators, inventors. That's really it, right? That's the key. The resource, the access to information, all of the how-tos, that's there. It's really just the time and commitment that people need to put in and independent sellers need to invest to see their product or invention blossom, right? It's just taking the time to really go through the data, go through the information, and implementing a strategy for their passion project or their invention, right? And I know we only scratched the surface here. We didn't get in too deep into everything that is involved with supporting small businesses and inventors on the Amazon store. But I'd highly recommend that anybody listening today that wants to dive in a little bit deeper to go visit the Amazon New Seller Guide. Amazon New Seller Guide is available to current new sellers, to people who aren't even selling in the Amazon store yet, but it was built to help establish and new sellers grow and develop their business, right? And it provides a little bit more guidance and information on things such as brand registry, protecting your IP, protecting your patents, A+ content to kind of what Ali mentioned earlier, automated pricing, even logistics when it comes to FBA, right? If you're thinking about doing fulfillment by Amazon, it will give you some how-to steps where to get started. And then lastly, just a little bit of advertising, because like we mentioned, like we talked about today, it's the product might be great, right? But how do we get people to see your product? How do we get people to buy in as to what it is that they're buying? So like I said, the New Seller Guide is really just a one-stop shop for resources and to help you scale quickly, right? And so definitely take a look and invest some time in there. Like use tools that we covered today and really just invest that 2 seconds, that maybe an hour a day, the 2 hours a week, and just learning on how to sell on the Amazon store.
And I would say, in terms of words of inspiration, I really encourage business owners, whether you're starting out or you've been in it for a while. I hear time and time again that it can be a really isolating and lonely experience. So some folks, right, like come from a job where they work 9 to 5 with the whole team, but then they come home to work on their product and their passion, and it is a team of one. And I think that's where connecting to chambers of commerce, to trade associations, to communities like yours, it's really an opportunity to connect with one another, bounce off good ideas, learn from other people, and also to have that kind of social cohesion and community that really keeps people motivated and thriving together. So those are the things that I've really learned from some of the entrepreneurs that I've worked with.
And likewise, there's so many inventors that start off with the idea in their head and then they bring it onto the Amazon store. It's a side hustle. It turns into their full-time job. And all of a sudden they have multiple products, their inventions, or they have one anchor product and then they have more of generic type of products around them that's in their store. And they just build it up. And it's a beautiful thing with all the support and tools and resources that you have. There's an opportunity for anybody to be a successful independent seller on the Amazon store. So we appreciate it very much. I know that we just scratched the surface of understanding. At least we know that this opportunity is available for us to be able to sell and have this opportunity to sell on the Amazon store. But I know beyond that, once we have inventory, we're shipping it to your warehouse. We have to label it correctly. The way that your warehouses ship it out and how all that works. I would love for us to come back next time and be able to touch on those questions and all the support and the tools and resources that you have for that. So that would be fantastic if we could share that with the audience as well.
Be happy to.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you both for joining me today. This was great. I know that the inventors out there very much appreciate it. We all hear about Amazon. Now we know about the Amazon store and the opportunity available for us. We'll see you again soon. Thank you again, Ali and Max.
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Thank you. Don't forget to follow us, keep in touch, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. All right, so we get to hear it straight from Amazon, and it seems like the platform is very well organized, great information, and they talked about putting the time and effort into it to be able to set yourself up as a seller in the Amazon store. But you know what? Like anything else, if you choose not to do it yourself, you don't feel like doing it yourself, or it's too complicated for you, then you can hire somebody else to do it for you. There are plenty of support out there to get you and your product to market, especially on the Amazon store, which many people are using these days. So I hope that was helpful and informative for all of you. And that's what this is all about, to keep us moving forward with our big ideas. So thank you all for joining. We are going to have an after meeting networking event. You have seen the link in the chat. You've seen it in your emails. If you are part of the Inventor Smart Community app, you can find it in there. And just one last plug for the Inventor Smart Community app. I know that many of you are watching and listening. If you haven't already joined, come in, it's free. Come subscribe, set up a profile for yourself, and be part of the Inventor Smart community, people networking, collaborating, helping each other out, connecting with each other, making friends. I love it. Hopefully you can join us. Thank you again. National Inventor Club, September 30th, 2025. We will hear more from the Amazon team again, get deeper in. So we will have this library of information when we need to know what to do. You can find it here with National Inventor Club. If you also haven't already done so, if you're in the app, you can find it. But also we have on our YouTube channel for National Inventor Club, we have hundreds of interviews and tips. And for National Inventor Club, I mean, every month we do a meeting. You can hear from the Copyright Office, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. I mean, practically every topic, there's something there for you. So you can go back and listen when you need it to help you. Thank you very much. Have a great night, and we'll see you again soon. Keep moving your big ideas forward. Thank you very much. Have a great night. And come into the after meeting networking for a little while. Come say hello. This way we can all see each other and chit chat for a little while until we see each other again. All right. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.